hemp has a really neat kind of, I'll call it superpower for lack of a better term, where it actually purifies the soil it's grown in. It's a great phytoremediator. It's been used to help the cleanup of the famous Chernobyl nuclear disaster site. It's also been used to help clean up the Fukushima nuclear disaster site when the tidal wave hit Japan in 2011.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Books and Backbone podcast. My name is Donna. I'm the owner of Bookkeeping Made Simple. And with me today is Miles Lazar, owner of Airetage Clothing. Tell us about yourself, Miles.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm the founder of Airetage, which is a hemp clothing company. I'm based in the North Chicago suburbs, and my whole journey started when I was in high school. I took a business incubator course where I was tasked to come up with different ideas, and I just thought I should make the best hoodie possible because I was in high school. I was too cool to wear winter jackets or be properly dressed for the weather. So I was like, let's make the best hoodie. Why not? I had no fashion background, no real interest in fashion. I just wore clothes that were comfortable and I went about my day. So I just Googled best textiles to make clothing out of, and hemp was one of the options, which just like fascinated me and like piqued my interest because I didn't think it was possible to make clothing out of something that I perceived to be just a drug that my friends and my brother smoked in high school or just in the garage, you know. Um, but it turns out this plant, hemp, is actually in the same plant family as psychoactive cannabis, but it's a different plant. So they're very closely related, but not exactly the same. And that for one fascinated me. I didn't know that there was a whole wide world of different cannabis plants, other than the ones people use to have fun. And I learned about the amazing agricultural benefits of hemp just for soil regeneration, soil health, and then also as a textile, all of its amazing performance characteristics and how long these textiles last. Those things just really fascinated me, and kind of the more I researched and learned, just the more fascinated I became, and it snowballed very quickly.
Yeah, this plant seems to have that effect on people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember we were talking about using hemp and cannabis plants on Superfund sites.
Yeah, so hemp has a really neat kind of, I'll call it superpower for lack of a better term, where it actually purifies the soil it's grown in. It's a great phytoremediator. That's the big technical fancy term. Pretty much it just cleans up the soil that it's grown in. It's been used to help the cleanup of the famous Chernobyl nuclear disaster site. It's also been used to help clean up the Fukushima nuclear disaster site when the tidal wave hit Japan in 2011, I believe it was. Um, and there's also, I haven't followed up on this, but I did read an article that actually 3M was researching using hemp to clean up one of their sites because there was some sort of contamination or not good thing happening that needed cleaning up. So yeah, that's one of the, I guess, most highest return on investment type of uh, properties because you can see it very immediately how much it helps the ground and the soil.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things most people don't know about.
Absolutely.
So most people that use the plant are using it for the psychoactive properties. And a lot of people don't know about everything else that it does. So tell us about hemp as a textile fabric.
Yeah. So hemp, just like the quick high level like performance characteristics that I list off, is that it's UV resistant, moisture wicking, anti odor. It also gets, the interesting thing is it actually gets like softer after each wash. I guess that's not too interesting because cotton does the same thing, but cotton degrades quickly. Where
Hmm.
hemp has 3 times the tensile strength as cotton, and tensile strength is just a measurement they use for the actual, to measure how strong like the individual fibers are. So
Uh-huh.
hemp is 3 times stronger than cotton and has all those other amazing benefits, which is phenomenal. The only kind of drawback as of right now is that since the plant was outlawed for so long, there's not as much infrastructure to take the plant from raw material to finished textile. It requires this process of decortication, which pretty much separates the outer fibrous layer from the inner woody core. And it's just a process to see what's the most efficient way to get that done. Since it was outlawed first in the 30s, then in the 70s, it was just no research was able to be done on it. So it's kind of catching up, slowly but surely to the cotton industry. There's a famous colloquialism that the hemp textile industry is 80 years behind cotton because of the outlaw and all the regulations that surrounded hemp. So hopefully in the near future, there's big investments made so that people want to grow it and can get it to finished product much quicker.
I think that's awesome. And yeah, hemp is behind cotton, but it can catch up so much more quickly. You know, I think the biggest battle is going to be the sense that, and we talked about this, I always assume hemp is rope, or it's the little necklace or choker a lot of my children's friends wore. I don't think of it as a soft, comforting fabric.
Yeah.
I wear a lot of cotton, so.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to pull the hemp over anyone's eyes. 100% hemp textiles are rougher to the touch and a little bit coarser. Hopefully, with the upcoming research and advancements, there are 100% hemp textiles that come out as soft and buttery as like a cotton t-shirt. But the reality is, we're just not there yet. That's why a lot of the clothing I sell is blended in some part with cotton. And the way that I always try to tell or educate people is that you're getting all of the performance benefits of hemp, but the feel of cotton. So that
Well,
is
that's
kind of
awesome.
the best of both worlds. Um, so, and the cotton
Yeah,
also helps with price because
yes.
same reason why there's not 100% soft buttery hemp. There's also uh, higher prices for hemp textile. So blending it with cotton does kind of lower the cost.
And then you said the hemp gets softer with each wash.
Correct. Yeah.
So you get the softness of the cotton at the beginning and then the durability of the hemp with the softness at the end.
Correct. Yeah. So
Awesome.
where a cotton t-shirt will be softer by the end of its life, it'll also just be misshaped, kind of warped,
Uh-huh.
not how you initially bought the item or how it looked when you initially bought it. So hemp will
Yeah,
help
like the V-neck,
prolong that.
the V-neck t-shirt that ends up looking like a big U.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Now, hemp won't stop that 100% from happening, but it's just going to prolong the life of the garment.
right. Well, no fabric lasts forever.
Exactly.
So, I mean, we wear them and we wear them out. So, but to have it last longer and be better for the environment, cotton is a very, I will tell our viewers, I grew up in the South. Uh, I grew up in Utah, Seattle, and Kentucky, and I've seen cotton be grown. And I know that because of my background, I know that cotton depletes the soil a lot. And so having hemp there as a crop rotation keeps the soil healthy. And that's great news for anybody that's growing any sort of textile, whether it's flax for linen or cotton or hemp. I think we've missed out on a lot by having hemp be outlawed for so long.
Absolutely. One of the other key com- key things about hemp as an agricultural crop is it makes a good rotation crop. So even if you're in between, I'm not a farmer. I'm gonna make that claim now. But if you're in between, let's say corn or soy, you could add hemp in between to help purify the soil, clean it up, so that's ready to go for the next crop. And if anybody says that I'm not legitimate because no one would plant soy after corn, my apologies, but
No, they
that's
do.
just an
They
example.
do.
Okay,
We
cool.
have My family owns some acreage in Kentucky, and we lease part of it out to a cousin that is a farmer, and they have to rotate usually wheat, corn, and soy.
Okay, gotcha.
And we also lived in a very, there's a lot of tobacco being grown, which is also horrible for the soil. So, so having this hemp actually refixes nitrogen so that the soil stays fertile for longer. So,
Absolutely. One of the other, just it adds to the list of amazing hemp benefits.
right? Yeah, everyone gets caught up on the medical, the recreational, and they forget about everything else it does. I mean, we were dependent on hemp for centuries for sails and ropes. So I think
Yeah,
it's awesome
absolutely.
that you're doing clothing now.
Thank you. Yeah. That's actually the inspiration behind my logo. I'll move the camera. So it's a hemp rope to pay homage to the one of the
Hmm.
first main uses of the textile, which is hemp rope. And not only was it used for naval applications, but there's been uh, suggestions that it was used for paper and for
Oh,
the
yes.
first draft of the Declaration of Independence was allegedly on hemp paper, and many of the founding fathers grew hemp as part of their crop. So there is kind of precedent for hemp use, especially in America, where people were
Yes.
making clothes out of it, and it was just like growing out in the wild and just growing alongside the road. But you know, those were it was different eras, so it's time to help. I would say my main mission is to help kind of introduce it to a modern audience who may not know
Love.
about the use of hemp textiles in naval applications, or necessarily I don't want to say don't care, but kind of pay homage to the long-standing tradition of hemp textiles, but for a more modern audience.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, I've always kind of chuckled. We're talking about rope. I've had hemp rope and I've used nylon rope, especially in grade school, which was way back a longer time than I want to admit to. Um, but the hemp rope, even though it's rougher, it's easier. I always notice it's easier for me to hold because nylon is so slippery.
Absolutely.
So I've always preferred hemp to synthetics.
Yeah, and actually, like one of the reasons why it was used for hemp, or why it was used for naval rope, was that it was very resistant to salt water, so it just didn't fall apart when they put it in the water, which is always a good thing. Um,
Yeah,
and also a part of that, resistance to high salinity waters, that's anti-mildew and anti-rot, so just maintains the integrity of the rope for longer. And
so
obviously when you're in the middle of the ocean.
does it
Huh?
bring those properties over to clothing then? So your cotton clothes don't mildew in the washer if it's got hemp in it?
Um, I'm not gonna make that claim because
Okay,
I'm,
I was just curious.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it'd be awesome
uh,
if it did. Maybe that's an experiment you can do.
absolutely. I think it has a lot to do with the way the textile is woven. Because if it's
Hmm.
woven for rope, it's gonna be woven differently
Oh
for
yeah,
like
it's gonna
a
be much
hoodie.
denser.
Yeah, much denser. So I think if you get the weave tight enough for like and apply that to a textile, I think there's a high probability that those properties will come over.
Okay, okay, that sounds really interesting. So cool. So you were just looking for a better hoodie.
Yes.
What other designs have you come out with?
So I've since expanded to a few different types of t-shirts. I just launched a polo. I have hats that I just came out with, and I'm really looking to expand it so that people can dress top to bottom in hemp-based garments. To really just show people that this could be used for everyday wear or whatever they need to dress for. They can wear something based in hemp because as we discussed, there's a lot of benefits to it, and it's just a really awesome textile.
You're Does it keep you warm like wool?
Yeah, so
It's
there's
the
a
we talked about wicking moisture away, but does it keep the heat in?
Yeah, so one of the other great things about the textile is that it's actually an incredibly effective thermoregulator because it has pretty much hollow fibers. So it's a good insulator, and also it's really breathable in the summer. So there's a saying that keeps you warm in the winter and cool in the summer just because it regulates temperature so well. A lot of
Cool.
people say it's like the vegan wool, which,
Yeah.
people looking to be 100% vegan, well, then I'm your guy. I'm not here to make judgments against wool. I think wool's cool, but obviously there are ethical concerns when it comes to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I keep coming back to I like having choices. I find wool to be itchy. I've tried it blended with everything. It just itches. So I would like choices. I would like to maybe find another textile that doesn't itch.
Absolutely.
Um,
Um, a lot of people really like hemp, or at least the hemp textiles that I find. Obviously, they range a wide
there's going to
gamut,
be all
but
kinds.
yes, but the textiles that I gravitate toward are just on the softer side because my whole philosophy is I want to be able to put something on and just never want to take it off. I want to feel comfortable.
Love
I
it.
want to feel safe. And for some people, it's like having the right hoodie makes them feel safe and secure. So that's the same type of feeling that I want to provide to others.
Yes. Yes. So what's working well for you right now and what's been frustrating?
Well, I don't know how much time we have. It could go on all day, but for both. But what's working well has been the in-person activations. I've been spending the past few months traveling around Chicago to different farmers markets, festivals, one-off events, anything really that they're allowing me to sell at. And that was really fun because it gave me a way to interact directly with people who are consuming my products. And also, it's a good kind of learning experience to see how people, just like normal people who wouldn't actually engage with the product, see how they would engage with it and what are their thoughts and why they wouldn't be necessarily like a typical shopper of mine. And those have been really good. It's actually been some of my best months doing those events because financially, just because people really get hemp textiles once you can touch it and feel it. There's only so much I can communicate through a podcast, social media,
Right.
so on and so forth. So I really enjoy that aspect, seeing that change that people made, like in their heads. They're like, oh, now that you told me about it, and now that I'm feeling it, it's like this makes sense. This is awesome. This is a no brainer. Um, so that's been really fun. The challenges, or what's not been working, is going to too many of those events because I've learned that not all of those events are good. So, and there's a big gamut of prices and like what's worth it, what's not. And also, I'm a one man band, and some of those days are like 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. and that's not including you have to get there set up early. So that's
Right.
an entire day and then some of
It can
just
easily be a
trying to.
16-hour day.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, trying to prioritize my time better, and next now I know for next year which ones are truly worth it. There's also been, as with everything, given external circumstances, supply chains are an interesting topic right now because you got to find the supplier that is cost effective but provides the quality I want as well as the time frames that I need because I'm currently preparing for this upcoming spring and then this next fall now. So just
Huh?
trying to make sure that I'm managing all that on a consistent timeline because there was actually an instance where I was expecting some prototypes to be made from a supplier and it turned out that they were waiting on me to confirm, but like weeks passed, so it's like there's a breakdown in communication that needed to be fixed. So I was like, that's always a fun thing, and also they're on the other side of the world, so time frames don't match up. So it's a constant back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of the way that goes. And then you have to kind of keep in mind that the plant has to grow.
Yep,
I have noticed that people that are more city people don't understand the growth cycle of plants. So because we're used to getting asparagus all around the calendar, people forget that it has a season, and so does hemp. So you have to be prepared a year in advance.
absolutely, absolutely. The the funny part about my situation in particular is that I've also noticed that people don't, some people, I should say, don't realize how fashion works necessarily. Like, I've been asked, like, oh, when are you coming out with another color of this thing or that thing? And it's like, I need to order minimum orders. So I need to know
Uh-huh.
that that color is going to be good because, a lot of companies, a minimum order is 200 units. So I don't really want to just get, you know, five different colors because that's 1,000 units that'll just like sit instead of sell. So it's like and also it doesn't happen overnight. I've seen people like, speaking of my own company and shopping at other places, where they're like, "Oh, can this happen like next week or tomorrow?" No,
No,
unfortunately not. No, um,
no, I think
I
that's
don't.
where the Amazon culture of I'm going to order it, it's going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah,
That's great. I love it. But in some cases, it's just not feasible at all. And I think
absolutely.
this instant gratification culture has seeped into places where
Yeah,
you can't have instant
the
gratification.
the running joke is I asked some family members who are like, when are you gonna come out with this, or like, can you make this in this color? And I always ask them, well, if you have 200 friends who will buy it along with you, then yeah, of
Yes.
course. But you know that's
Yeah.
just not the case.
Yeah. They don't realize that you can't get small lots on that.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
My dream, obvious or not obviously, but my dream would be to have a supply chain set up locally that, I have a design, I can get it made in a few days, and then, you know, or have enough made to where I can test it, see how people react, see how it markets, and then
Yeah.
make a larger production run all right here. But that's just not the nature of,
Not in
or at
this
least my
business.
business.
No.
Yeah, not in my business. If anyone has any solutions to that, please contact me.
Yeah. So my understanding is it's at least a year lead, because you have to be able to test things, make sure everything works, make sure that you have the product in, make sure that the colors work with it, and then you can get things out. So,
Yes. At least with my contacts, it typically takes about anywhere from like 45 to 60 days.
hmm
However, that's if everything goes perfectly smooth.
yes.
I did have a situation in which I ordered some product, and it was supposed to be the typical 45 to 60 days. I got it literally 100 plus days later, and
Oh, yes.
once I actually got it, there were some units with the wrong collar colors. There were some with
hmm
the right collar color, the wrong body color, and so
No.
I waited all this time, and then I had to send the product back anyway to get fixed. You know,
How
it is what it
irritating.
is. Yeah, I mean Yeah, it is what it is. But like, there is, also the aspect of human error, which people have to understand.
hmm
It also, in this instant gratification economy, there's like, I want this exact thing now. Oh, it's not perfect. Like, why not? Like, things are still handmade, things are still being done by people. So like, you have to give some benefit of the doubt, but yeah, there is some hurdles to jump over.
Yes. Yes, and a lot of them if you're in the manufacturing side, which you are. So, well, if you could solve one major challenge today, what would it be?
If I can you repeat that?
If you could solve one major challenge today, what would it be?
One major challenge. Are we talking about in the broader world or with my business?
Either.
Um, well, I think in a broader context, something that I would solve or change is get hemp legalized in federally so that it can be grown more, it can be researched more, and it can be regulated appropriately, and then
Hmm.
also allow it to be grown wherever it's appropriate, in fields, in farms, in classrooms, anywhere and everywhere. Because
Yes.
in my opinion, the more hemp, the better. Because the one kind of benefit that we didn't necessarily touch on is its um, ability to capture carbon. Now, obviously, all plants capture carbon. It's
Right.
not something special to hemp, but there have been studies to suggest that it actually captures carbon more efficiently than trees. I forget the exact statistic, but I believe an acre of hemp can outperform an acre of trees just in terms of the amount of carbon it actually captures out of the air, which I feel like is much needed right now.
Well, I feel like most of the global warming issues, if you think it's humans that are doing it, the best thing to do is grow plants, any kind of plant.
Yeah,
So I have
absolutely.
an office. You can see the green behind my head back here. I have an office full of house plants, and I just keep buying more because I want my home to be clean. And my peace lily does a lot to clean pollution out of the air. So the more plants, the better.
Absolutely,
That's
100%.
that's what they're here for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we need to decriminalize all hemp or cannabis. It's just a plant.
Yeah.
It's the government trying to eradicate it is like trying to eradicate dandelions. It's just not going to
Yeah. And I just want to make it clear that like I'm all for, again, proper regulation and like have
happen. Yeah,
all the
appropriate
quality
regulation.
could, yes, exactly. Appropriate
Yeah,
regulation and have everything above board. I don't see how like, trying to circumvent any type of system is helpful. Just collaboration and communication is all that I can offer.
yeah, I agree. And I think that education is about all we can do.
Yeah,
So,
education will help lead to destigmatization, which will lead to
mhm.
hopefully progress.
Yes, yes. Well, did you have anything else that you wanted to share with our viewers?
Mm, I guess to follow my journey at Airetage, that is Airetage. Or you could look at the website www.airetageclothing.com. That is Airetage clothing.com.
And we'll put all the links in the show
Yeah,
notes.
absolutely. And
So,
be kind to the earth. That's really it. Whatever that means to you, just be kind to it, however you
hey, I
can.
really like the term steward
Yeah,
because it means that it's not yours. You are keeping it in trust for somebody else. So we need to be good stewards of the earth because our children and grandchildren and great grandchildren have to live here too.
yep. The
So,
only I think one of the only real truths, just objectively, is that the earth will be. It was here before us, and it'll be here long after us,
yes.
whatever that means.
So let's take care of it because the earth is going to be fine no matter what we do. But let's take care of it so we can leave a nice place to live to our children and their children.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So thank you so much for being on the podcast. Like I said, all of your contact links will be in the show notes. So if anyone wants to reach Miles, one please do, and we'll have links, his website, phone number, email address, all in the show notes. And thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for having me. This has been really fun.
Awesome.